Hey everyone, welcome to Bodybuilding Nation. The finals for the 2025 Toronto Pro have just wrapped up, and I know many of you will be thrilled with these results, especially if you're a SAS fan. Let's break down the official placings. Felix Norman landed in 5th place, Eric Janicki made an impressive pro debut taking 4th, Hussein Kalate secured 3rd, Regan Grimes took 2nd, and Heirati claimed the victory. Looking at the top 2 comparison from finals, we saw a similar story to prejudging. Regan didn't fade quite as dramatically as he did during prejudging. He appeared tighter for finals, but Sasserati also came in sharper for the evening show. I've had a chance to review the scorecards, and Sas won both prejudging and finals by the narrowest of margins, just 1 point each time. He took prejudging 7-8 and finals 7-8 as well. The footage provided gives a much better representation of these athletes' conditioning, especially Sasserati's, and helps explain why he ultimately won. The conditioning details are far more visible in these clips than what we could see on the livestream. When I first watched prejudging on the stream, I initially had Regan winning in the beginning phases, but as prejudging continued, I changed my prediction, something I rarely do mid-show. Regan's fading condition and Sasserati's remarkable shape convinced me to flip my pick. Going into this competition, my original prediction was for Regan to win, but that changed during prejudging as the situation developed. I believe this was truly Regan's show to lose, and unfortunately for him, that's exactly what happened. I mentioned before that if Regan came in off his best, Sasan would have an opportunity to take the victory, and that's precisely what we witnessed here. We saw the same issues Regan experienced at the New York Pro, where throughout prejudging he was sweating profusely, breathing heavily, and struggling to maintain poses. He had difficulty holding his abdominal contraction, not because of distension, but because his labored breathing made it challenging to maintain that tight control during poses. While Regan was able to defeat Sas in New York despite these issues, this time around Sas brought a significantly improved package compared to New York, which was enough to edge out Regan. This has to be an exciting moment for Sas fans, as he's finally secured his Olympia qualification after consistently bringing outstanding conditioning throughout the 2025 season. Heirati has been in that always a bridesmaid, never a bride situation, consistently right there at the top, almost getting the win, almost securing qualification, but falling just short. This time, he did more than enough to win, though it remained incredibly close on the scorecards. Regan's advantages typically come in size, fullness, and structure, but he was off enough and faded enough that Sas's remarkable consistency prevailed. What impresses me most about Sas is his reliability. In nearly every 2025 show he's entered, he's been among the most conditioned competitors, if not the absolute best. He's extremely consistent, which is where he gained the edge over Regan, who has historically shown more variability throughout his career, delivering some exceptional looks but also some disappointing ones. Heirati, on the other hand, has maintained incredible consistency throughout 2025, and that's what ultimately secured him this victory. It's gratifying to see this level of conditioning rewarded, because while conditioning isn't everything in bodybuilding, it's a fundamental component. Out of the 3 head-to-head matchups between Regan and Sas, Regan won 2, even though I would argue he wasn't more conditioned than Sas in either of those victories. He was simply conditioned enough, with superior fullness, size, flow, and structure to overcome Sas's advantages in definition. Although Sasan might not have the same structural advantages or size as some competitors, it's wonderful to see someone with such exceptional conditioning finally rewarded. He's had numerous close calls in 2025, defeating Andrew Jacked in the FIBO prejudging before Andrew came back to win the show, close battles with William Bonac in Detroit, and with Regan in California. This is exactly the type of athlete who belongs on the Olympia stage, and now we'll have him there. Competitors like Heirati, who bring consistently outstanding conditioning, provide an excellent comparison point for other athletes. He establishes a benchmark for conditioning at any show he enters. He might not be the biggest or have the best structure, but he'll reliably be among the most conditioned athletes on stage. At the Olympia, he'll expose any top-tier competitors who aren't at their best. You might have a top 10 Olympia competitor who's significantly larger than Sas or has superior flow, but when placed next to Heirati, any conditioning deficiencies will be immediately apparent. That's precisely why we need someone like Sas at the Olympia. While conditioning isn't everything, it's incredibly important. And Sas is one of those rare athletes who delivers it consistently every time he steps on stage, especially throughout 2025. What an incredible season he's had. Regarding Regan's performance, I believe his inconsistency, which has been present throughout his career, coupled with extended time away from competition, contributed to the dramatic fading we've now witnessed twice this year. At the New York Pro pre-judging and here in Toronto, particularly during pre-judging. The fact that he lost in Toronto, essentially his home territory with the home field advantage, speaks volumes about how significantly he faded during the show. I think it's similar to ring rust in combat sports. He simply needs to get back into the competitive rhythm. After his impressive package in California, I thought perhaps he had shaken off that rust, and we wouldn't see this fading issue anymore, but it appears to remain a challenge. During pre-judging, he was visibly sweating profusely, breathing heavily, and clearly finding it laborious to maintain poses. He did improve somewhat for finals, with reduced sweating and less fading, but he was still off his optimal condition. Unfortunately for Regan, this particular show had a very short interval between pre-judging and finals, just a couple of hours, which didn't allow sufficient time to make substantial improvements. After losing in prejudging, there was minimal opportunity to significantly adjust his physique for finals, given such a limited time frame. I'm extremely excited to see Sas Heirati on the Olympia stage, and I'm sure many of you share that enthusiasm. Sas has been involved in several controversial placings this season, with comment sections across social media frequently filled with claims that he was robbed in various shows. Now he's finally secured his Olympia qualification, and I believe this victory was well-deserved and not controversial. He truly earned his place at bodybuilding's most prestigious competition. What are your thoughts on these results? Drop your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, please hit that like button and subscribe to Bodybuilding Nation for more competition coverage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.